Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside the guys Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. And hey, it's gonna be a good show tonight, guys. We're gonna start off as always with NXT, then we're following it with AEW Dynamite, and then a special Mikey's Mindset as we will be recapping the RWA's Renegade Rumble that went down on a Sunday because we have a loaded show for Friday. I'm not going to overwork the guys, so that's why I decided to do it here and then just have one preview thing instead of two. So here we go, guys. NXT. We started it off with Wes Lee opened putting the North American title on the line, and yeah, it was an open challenge, and it was answered by Nathan Frazier. So the match goes down, and Wes Lee wins the match in 10 minutes and 14 seconds to successfully defend the North American Championship. Great opener. Absolute great opener. You can even make an argument for fight of the night here. This was a very good match. Hard fought battle. Both men really looked amazing. Easily 3.5 stars for me. Really nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, whoa, we lost MF. Yeah, we lost good old MF Michael Fletcher. I think he might have hit the wrong button or something here. So, all right, there's MF back in. MF, I was about to ask you, what was the time of the fall on that one?
12, 10 14? Minutes and 14 seconds.
10:14? All right.
Yep.
I thought it was a little longer than that, but okay. But this was the fight of the night. This is absolutely was the fight of the night. I 100% agree. This was a great bout between two athletes who know how to spark the crowd. With the title on the line, each near fall was felt. It was as good an opener as NXT could have put together. While it would be nice to see a heel step up and build a story with Wes Lee, he is crafting unique title defenses each week. Even if he does an open challenge at Stand and Deliver, it will be a guaranteed standout. The brand is not short on challengers who can give Lee another great title defense as the champion is elevating everyone. Brawl broke out to start the show in the back as so many hoped to get the title shot. Dabba-Kato almost made it until Apollo Crews cut him off, allowing Nathan Frazier to jump in. This was Frazier's first televised match since October. He got a welcome back chant. Frazier took down Lee with a springboard inverted DDT for a near fall. Challenger planted the champion with a superplex and spinning neckbreaker for another. And the challenger went for it all with a jump over the top but hit the table. And the champion responded with a corkscrew dive to the floor. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Fight of the night for me, no doubt about it. Excellent jump off. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, this is why you love NXT, because of matches like this. And yeah, what an incredible way to jump this off. 3.5, 3 3/4, fight of the night. Welcome back, Nathan Frazier.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, October was the last time we saw Nathan Frazier, and he stepped up, and boy howdy, he gave Wes Lee all he could handle in this match. And yeah, before it was actually Nathan Frazier, you had a whole slew of combatants that wanted the shot. Even Dabba-Kato. I mean, yeah, if it was him, this would have been an absolute mismatch. But Apollo Crews stopped him from doing it. That's when Nathan Frazier stepped up, and yeah, this was an absolute really good match. 3.5 stars, fight of the night, hands down. So nothing more to say. Let's move right along, Fletch.
All right, with that said, we had Indashir going up against Briggs and Jansen. It was Indashir winning the match in 3 minutes and 29 seconds. We don't really need to talk about it. If you want to, you're more than welcome to, but we don't really need to talk about this, guys. But we do need to get into, there was a promo segment by Gigi Dolan right after that, mainly answering back JC Jane, but whoa, it took a turn and then some. And Anthony Florio, I don't know what your reaction was to the promo. I know for me, this was more than good. This was great. And as a matter of fact, anybody who thought that Gigi Dolan was going to be the Marty Jannetty of the Toxic Attraction, she came out a bigger star by this promo alone than anything else. Her emotion, her passion, her fire came out, and my God, I was not expecting this.
I wasn't either, but boy, howdy, was this a pleasant surprise. Now, it may not be for everybody. You can't please everybody. I know that, but we're not everybody. I mean, this came off absolutely fantastic. I could go as far as to call this the segment of the night here, because this was a very well done promo. And yeah, she came off like the bigger star here than Jacy Jayne did. And they square off next week on the Roadblock on next Tuesday night as part of the big Roadblock special on the USA Network. So I got a feeling that this could end up ending, in some type of a draw, like a no contest or a double count out, a double DQ, because I got a feeling they got something bigger in mind. Because, I heard the words last woman standing a few times. I wouldn't be surprised if next week's match, we don't get much of anything, but then at Stand and Deliver, we see Dolan and Jayne go at it in a last woman standing match. I would not at all be surprised if that's where this is heading, because I heard those words, last woman standing. So that's where it's leading me to. So very well done promo by Gigi Dolan here. And promos like that make you root for people like that. Honest to goodness, it really does. And it's going to be a very interesting match on Tuesday night. But like I said, my prediction is I don't think anything's going to come of it, and I think it's leading to a last woman standing match at Stand and Deliver. That's just my Michael Bullock. You know where I'm going with this bold prediction. So that's just how I feel. So segment of the night, Michael Bullock. Wow, what says you?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this promo here was far and away better than Jacy Jayne's promo a couple of weeks ago. I mean, her passion, her fire, and the emotion. I mean, she set out to prove that she is no Marty Jannetty of the group. She wants to prove that to Jacy Jayne that she's far better than Jacy Jayne. So we'll see what comes of it next week when these two go at it at NXT Roadblock. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually with you, Florio. I mean, when you hear last woman standing, I'm actually with you. I'm going to go with your bold prediction as well. I think this is going to end in a no contest. And then I think these two will face off once again, this time at Stand and Deliver. And that's when I think we're going to get the last woman standing match. So, segment of the night, it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was a lot better than I ever thought. And Gigi Dolan came out like a megastar on this one. She comes out talking about everything that went down, the whole 9 yards and whatever you want to say. But what really stood out about everything was really what she said. She talked about the time that, she talked about the abuse that she got from her mother and how she had to get out of that. For her brother, her little brother, to see that she can make it. And dude, that resonated with me, because that was one of those where even I was like, wow, whoa, I did not expect that from her. And that part. But at the end of the day, that is exactly what Gigi did. She made herself so strong, so powerful, and so impactful that, honest to God, there's nothing more to say. This was single-handedly the best storyline of the night. And for me, it connected, it delivered. Everything about that story was so damn good. I cannot believe Gigi pulled that card and went there. She was vulnerable. You saw the anger and the vengeance, and especially at that end, where she looked at that camera and looked right into the eyes and sent that message to JC Jane. That was a mark of a star being born right before our fucking eyes. And it was absolutely what it needed it to be. Incredible, incredible performance. And I think I was more sold on because, I never saw that side of Gigi, and oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. It connected. So, with that said, we're moving on. Next up, we had was Miko Satomura going one-on-one with Zoe Stark, and Miko Satomura winning the match in 11 minutes and 26 seconds. Michael Bullock front and center, my friend. It is all yours.
I'll give this about 3.25 stars. I mean, I thought this was a solid match here. I mean, obviously Zoe Stark went into this match with a huge chip on her shoulder because she stated that she's the one that should be challenging for the NXT Women's title, and not Miko Satomura. And Zoe Stark thought that she could handle Miko Satomura. And let's be quite honest, especially with you, Fletch, there was no way she was going to be able to handle her, because we've said it so many times. I mean, it's like she is the women's version of Gunther. That's what she is. And she's worthy of getting this title shot. So, will she win it? Probably not. But I'll tell you this right now: at Roadblock, she's definitely gonna give Roxanne Perez all she can handle. But I just think in the end, I just think it's gonna be too much. I really think that Roxanne will find a way to win this match. So 3.25 stars. It is yours, Fletch.
Miko Satomura is known as the final boss. And you want to know why? Because every time, it's like in any type of video game, there's always that big boss at the end of the game that is harder than shit. That you try to survive, and you hope and pray that you can make it through. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, who is the final boss? Mike Tyson himself. There's been always a big bad, or a horrible bad guy that's probably the toughest opponent you're gonna get. And Zoe Stark thought that she could handle the final boss. And just like maybe many players in their lifetime, they failed the final boss. It's like if you're dealing with Super Mario Brothers, you're fighting Bowser. That's like if you're in Legend of Zelda, you know who the big bad is. It's Ganon. Ganondorf, whatever you want to call it, it's Ganon. That's like with Metroid Prime, who Samus is the biggest opponent is? Ripley, the dragon himself. So whenever you get this kind of battle, when you try to wrestle somebody who's legendary, who's got that moniker, and who's been absolutely unstoppable, that's why Miko Satomura got the known as the final boss, because every time she fights, it's like a war. It's like you're going through a video game. You get to that final battle, you see that big boss, you're like, son of a, all right, I'm at for you. And sometimes you pass and get by, or other times you fail and you lose a life. And for Zoe Stark, she lost her life. However, for Roxanne Perez, now you're looking at it and you're like, all right, now I know who I'm going up against. Now I just saw what I just saw, and now I know I'm in for it, and I gotta be at my A game next week when they battle for the titles. So really nothing more to say. Anthony, yes, 3.5 stars is my rating. It's yours.
Well, when it comes to final bosses in classic games, let's not forget the original Metroid was the Mother Brain, and yeah, we all know that. And yep, I've experienced all those final bosses, MF, and I've beaten them too. So thanks. But all right, let's get into this here. All kidding aside, unsurprisingly, this was one of the better women's matches on NXT television in months. Even with a few obvious miscues, the two had a hard-hitting battle that allowed both to look like dangerous competitors in the division. Miko Satomura needed the win in this moment, but Zoe Stark is still the best next challenger to Roxanne Perez. She could well be on her way to the main roster, but she can have one last strong match before the call-up. Roxanne Perez joined Vic Joseph and Booker T on commentary ahead of this match and faced off with her latest challenger after the match was over. Zoe Stark clotheslined Miko Satomura and then went for a springboard clothesline, only to run into a stiff side kick from the final boss, and Satomura nearly took the win off a frog splash on Zoe Stark. The heel responded with a near fall off a springboard corkscrew, and that's all there was when it comes to notable highlights of this. 3 1/4, 3.5, another one of the fights of the night. Absolutely very well done, and both women came out great, and but Miko Satomura needed it more because she is of course going to be challenging Roxanne Perez for the women's championship at Roadblock Tuesday night. But you thought this match was good last night? This one could be even better. Who knows? So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. But I think we're all in agreement. I think Roxanne Perez will get the win here. And then maybe Zoe Stark could possibly be the next challenger, maybe at Stand and Deliver. I don't know. We'll see. But a fantastic match nonetheless. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. That was the another one of the fights of the night. So not much more for me to say. MF, let's move on to whatever the next relevant thing on here is.
All right, well, we had Sol Roca versus Elektra Lopez. Sol Roca won the match in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. But after the match, Elektra Lopez was a little angry at Valentina Feroz because I guess she was hoping that she would have turned or helped her win that match. And, well, she kind of pie-faced her only to get Nux in the face for the return. Yeah, that got a major pop from the fans. Valentina Feroz, she never wanted your help, Elektra. She wanted it to do it her own way, do her own battle, do her own stuff, and sure enough, she's on her own on that one, and we'll wait and see how that plays out. Then we had Katana Chance versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton getting a win over Katana Chance. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. It was fine for what it was worth. I'm not going to say it was anything to write home about. And then we had Axiom versus Hank Walker. Axiom winning 3:43, which was all right. Decent battle. Which leads us to the main event of the evening. Carmelo Hayes versus Tyler Bate. And Carmelo Hayes, the A-champ, wins it. 11 minutes and 19 seconds. All right. Solid third fight of the night. This was another 3-star bout, and this was a hell of a match. Great battle, great fight, solid main event, good enough for me. I really had nothing bad to say about it. I thought they did a really good job with this. So, yeah, I got really nothing more to add. So, Anthony Florio, it is all yours. A solid main event to close the show.
I would say this was the second best fight of the night, MF. Because on any other night, this would have been NXT match of the night. But the opener, I felt, was the more heated bout. That should take nothing away from a great effort by two impressive performers that had the crowd roaring. Melo made his final statement, and hopefully NXT will go full steam ahead on Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker after Roadblock. Hopefully there is a clear path for Tyler Bate, who has been one of NXT's most consistent performers since returning. He is a special talent who should not be left off the brand's biggest show of the year at Stand and Deliver. Hayes countered Bop and Bang and then an airplane spin for the first time, but Bate fought back and sent him on a ride with the airplane spin. The big strong boy finally landed Bop and Bang and then the rebound clothesline. Melo kneed Bate in the face, followed by a lifted cutter for a near fall. He went to the top rope for a diving axe kick, but got caught for a superplex. And then Hayes looked into the camera afterward and made clear that he was the only man left standing to challenge Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver. So this was a solid 3.5. This was the second best fight of the night for me. So Michael Bullock, fantastic main event to close out what ended up being one of the better NXT shows we've had in some time.
Yeah, I'll give this 3.5 stars as well. I mean, what can you say? I mean, this was a good match here, and Carmelo Hayes continues to build on this momentum, and in which we all agree he's going to be next in line to challenge Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. And of course, we're all in agreement that Carmelo Hayes is going to be the one to dethrone Braun Breaker and become the new NXT champion. And I also think this is where I think Braun Breaker is going to get the call to the main roster. So we'll see what happens with all this. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's overall thoughts time.
Anthony Florio, I think we can. I think we're all in agreement. Last week was a cluster. You know what? This week, far better.
Far better, but I will say it wasn't, the greatest. But I will say, I will give this between 7 and 7.5 because we had 3 very good matches on this show. Starting with Wes Lee and Nathan Frazier for the North American Championship. The main event with Carmelo Hayes and Tyler Bate. The women's match, Miko Satomura and Zoe Stark. Those were 3 pay-per-view quality bouts that we got on this show last night. Takeover worthy bouts. And all of them were a good 3.25 or so stars or higher. And then you had that incredible promo from Gigi Dolan, cutting what I call a you want to root for her promo after that. So I think we're all going to be rooting for Dolan to come out on top against Jane. But I still feel they're setting up something for Stand and Deliver. I still think it's going to be a last woman standing match, but for that to happen, something, they're going to have something clunky happen, but we'll see. Nice setup for Roadblock. Roadblock looking like a solid holding show before we get to the big show at the Staples Center on April 1, before we get into the WrestleMania. So 7.5. Fantastic. One of the better shows we've had in some time. And Michael Bullock, anytime you have 3 quality matches on a show, that usually leads to good ratings from us. And then throwing that incredible promo by Gigi Dolan as well.
Well, I mean, last week on the show, boys, I called out NXT, and yeah, you guys remember it. And, well, I guess they must have listened to me because they put on a far better show. I mean, it wasn't anything great, but it was definitely a big improvement. So 7 to 7.5. I'm with you on that. I mean, you got 3 quality matches. You had a solid promo. I mean, yeah, you still had some short matches, but at least it wasn't like what we saw last week. So 7.5. Let's quickly get to you, and then we'll get into AEW Dynamite.
7 out of 10 for me. Excellent show, far better than anything we had last week, no doubt about it. It was exactly what it needed it to be, and that's exactly what it was. So far better than it was the last time around, and it really it panned it out. It worked. So with that said, nothing more to add. And yeah, this was like we said, far better show than it was last weekend. Well, now we move on to AEW Dynamite, starting it off with Big Bill going up against Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship. And it was Orange Cassidy winning the match in 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Solid opener, another 3-star bout. And yeah, this had everything it needed it to be. Obviously, it was big man versus little man. And they actually worked that angle very well. And at the end of the day, Orange Cassidy has really done a serviceable job, a great job, as a matter of fact, as the AEW All-Atlantic Champion. So there's really nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy, I'm telling you guys, he's on a massive roll right now. I mean, he's won 22 straight matches. That is something. Love him or hate him, you gotta give him all the credit in the world for that. I mean, I was surprised to see that statistic, but anywho, the match was a fun one that set the tone for the night and gave Orange Cassidy another big win in a recent string of them. He has been a great choice to carry the All-Atlantic Championship, which has not been prioritized in the slightest, but has still been at the center of some above-average matches. Cassidy has been extraordinary during this run and really should earn more credit for the quality of his work of late, despite the perception of his as a strictly comedic act. Cassidy frustrated the challenger early, dodging him at every turn before Big Bill delivered a sidewalk slam. The heel drove Cassidy to the timekeeper's table with a choke slam, drawing holy bleep chants, entering the picture-in-picture break. Cassidy dropped to the mat, avoiding a big boot. He repeated the spot and rolled to the floor. There, Big Bill threatened to choke slam Danhausen, only for Stokely Hathaway to backhand the popular face-painted babyface with the cast on his supposedly broken hand. Cassidy delivered not one, not two, but 3 orange punches, the third coming from the top rope to earn the win. So, yeah, I'll give this about 3.25 stars for this one. 3.25 is my rating for this. So, yeah, solid opener here. So, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Orange Cassidy keeps on rolling. Very impressive win against the likes of the man formerly known as Big Cass, now known as Big Bill.
What did you give it, Florio?
I gave it 3.25.
Yeah, 3.25. I'll definitely I'll give it that. I mean, solid match here. I mean, normally big guy against little guy is something that has a tendency to maybe not be all that good, but I'll tell you what, Orange Cassidy, I mean, he continues to definitely improve, and he looked good and gave Big Bill all he can handle here. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say on this, so let's move right along, Fletch.
All right, next up we had was a Face of the Revolution ladder match where the winner will receive a TNT championship match down the line. The competitors were Sammy Guevara, Action Andretti, Powerhouse Hobbs, Eddie Kingston, AR Fox, and Konosuke Takeshita, Kamanda, and Ortiz. And it was Powerhouse Hobbs winning it all in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. He is the face of the Revolution and thus will receive a future TNT championship match. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Sleeper fight of the night. I'm going to give this about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Wild, chaotic spots were the name of the game tonight in the legendary Cow Palace in San Francisco in this Face of the Revolution ladder match. Death-defying, awe-inspiring athleticism and creativity define the bout, with the high flying of the latter competitor, Komander, really standing out from the pack. Did you see how he walked that top rope like a freaking tightrope, for goodness sakes? And then delivering that tope con hilo on top of that? Oh, awesome. The presence of the Jericho Appreciation Society's Daniel Garcia nearly ensured Sammy Guevara would score a tainted win, but it was the resourceful Powerhouse Hobbs sending Konosuke Takeshita crashing off the ladder, earning the win and the future opportunity at the TNT Championship. The match was a spot fest that featured some storytelling in the form of Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara working together to eliminate JAS enemy Action Andretti, but really thrived on the big moments. Powerhouse Hobbs winning is a welcome creative decision because I think the guy screams money and really should have been prominently featured before now. It remains to be seen if this win allows him to build more momentum toward a championship, but it is, without a doubt, it's not just one of the more defining victories of his young career. I consider this the biggest victory of his career to date. Could it lead to an even bigger one? We'll find out. I think next week is when the match is going to happen.
Yes.
So
next Wednesday night.
And that will be at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, the new home of the Sacramento Kings. That's where it's going to be. So Powerhouse is going to get another hometown, home state rub because he's from California. He's from that San Francisco, Oakland area. So, and I know Sacramento will probably give him just as much of a welcome as San Fran did here tonight. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz brawled to start the bout, their personal rivalry trumping their desire for a championship opportunity. I think something's going to happen at Revolution, maybe during the pre-show. Komander wiped out the field with a dive to the floor. Fox took a nasty bump on a ladder that did not give it all. Andretti and Guevara executed an ugly Falcon Arrow bump that appeared to have affected both. I call botch on that one. Garcia interfered on behalf of Guevara. Powerhouse Hobbs wiped Konosuke Takeshita off the ladder, climbed it, and won the match. And then in the post-match, Wardlow appeared and looked to attack Samoa Joe, who escaped unscathed. He powerbombed one poor security guard onto a group of them instead, all while Hobbs watched. Those Gestapo security guards, guys. Ugh.
Good for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. Very fun match. I'm going to be honest with you. I know nothing about this Komander guy. I've never even heard of this guy, but from what I saw, I was damn impressed, and I want to see more of him because any guy who can walk a top rope like a freaking tightrope and then deliver a tope con hilo, that's a guy I'd want in my company if I was running things. That's for damn sure. So more Komander because I want to see more because that was freaking epic. So not much more for me to say here. Except that Powerhouse Hobbs and Takeshita, those were my top two favorites going in. But I kind of had this feeling about Powerhouse Hobbs because remember, he's got history with both Joe and Wardlow.
Yeah.
Dating back to that triple threat at the Full Gear back in November when Samoa Joe won the TNT Championship the first time. So, bold prediction. My gut's telling me maybe Joe finds a way to beat Wardlow, maybe by nefarious means or something. But I got this, I don't know why, but I got this feeling that Powerhouse Hobbs might actually do the thing here. I think he might actually win the title. So, we're going to have to wait and find out come next week in Sacramento. So, 3.5, 3 3/4 for this fight of the night for me. You can certainly make an argument for it. I wouldn't be against it. So not much more for me to say here. Michael Volek, without a doubt, the biggest win of Powerhouse Hobbs' career so far. But could it lead to an even bigger win next week in Sacramento against Joe or Wardlow?
Yeah, I mean, that we'll have to wait and see on it, but definitely the biggest win for Powerhouse Hobbs. And yeah, I mean, I mean, all the competitors did really well. I mean, obviously, we all thought that Sammy Guevara was going to steal the match, thanks to some help from the fellow Jericho Appreciation Society member Daniel Garcia, but Takeshita put a stop to it, and eventually Powerhouse Hobbs took advantage, and now he has earned himself a future shot at the TNT title. So there's really nothing more to say. It is yours.
Yeah, solid match. Like you guys have said, they did a pretty good job with it. There's really nothing more to add here, so we're just gonna move right on along here. Next up we had was Peter Avalon versus Chris Jericho. Jericho wins the match in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Really nothing more to say. You could even make an argument that was the worst fight of the night. After that, the next match we had was Hook and Matt Hardy for the FTW Championship. Hook wins it in 4:10. Fine, for what it was worth, nothing there. Now we had a match. It was Toni Storm versus Rio. And Rio getting the upset win, winning the match in 10 minutes. Michael Bullock, Rio, the original and inaugural AEW Women's World Champion. She did it again. She rose to the occasion and got a huge win over Toni Storm, a former champion in her own right.
Well, I mean, only with a little distraction from Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker here, but
True.
But either way, I mean, this was definitely a major win for Rio. I mean, going into this, we were thinking, yeah, Toni Storm's going to go over, probably with a little help from Saraya, to basically to send a message to the originals that the newbies are taking over, and but no, sorry, Toni Storm, not this time. You got one up by Rio, so let's just say I wish I had my my spray paint so I could brand an L on your back just like you used to do with all the other originals. So, but I know if she heard this, she probably would do it to me. But you know, she can't even come here. So you know what? You're a loser.
You're lucky.
Anyway.
You're lucky she's in California and we're in Rhode Island, bro. But here's the problem. Not in the not so distant future, they're going to be in Kingston, Rhode Island. So on that night, use your words very, very carefully.
Mind your P's and Q's, Bullock.
Exactly.
Well, this is Rampage. I mean, I don't know if the two of them are going to be part of it in Kingston, but we'll wait and see on that. But if they are, then I'll choose my words wisely, because they just may end up branding an L on my back. So
yeah.
But then again, you guys may have to do the same as well, because you don't want that to happen either. So
what are you, nuts? If Saraya and Toni Storm is in the building, I'm out of my P's and Q's. I know Flair is too.
Darn tootin'.
Exactly. Darn tootin' indeed. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Big win for Rio. So, I don't know about you. I mean, when it comes to that rumored Blood and Guts match with the originals and the of course the new AEW newbies, I'm gonna say it like this: I would not be surprised to see Rio be part of it, because here's the thing, like you said, Fletch, she was the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah.
Why not have the inaugural champion be on that team? I mean, I definitely.
I mean, if you really want to know originals, now I know they said, oh, it's going to be Ruby Soho and everything else. Remember, this is what, 5? Isn't it normally 5 people, or is it 4?
5.
I think it's 5.
It's 5.
5. All right. So if you're gonna do that, so okay, Dr. Britt Baker, Ruby Soho, Jamie Hayter, Riho would be 4. I got the 5th one in mind.
Who?
The native beast, Nyla Rose.
Oh boy, you put her on that team.
She is an original. She was there at the very beginning. As a matter of fact, she was the second ever AEW Women's World Champion. Now, I know that a lot of people are gonna say, if you're gonna do originals, that would be it. That would be their 5.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the other 5 goes, I would probably say you gotta go. All right, you're gonna get Toni Storm. You're gonna get Saraya.
Mm-hmm.
The third, maybe Athena for the third, because I know she's had that going. So that's 3. Who would be the other 2? Maybe no, I don't think they're gonna. Maybe Jade Cargill, but I don't know if they're gonna want her. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Jade Cargill number 4. And then, yes, I'm hearing a lot of rumors, and we might need to keep a close eye on this, but I'm also hearing maybe the 5th, just as a one-time, maybe the new NJPW Women's World Champion, Mercedes Moné.
A lot to digest with that.
Sasha Banks from WWE.
That would be awesome, but that might be a reach considering they promised us. We thought we were going to get her once before, but look what happened. We didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Florio on this one. I mean, until we actually see it happen, I'm not going to go there. I'm sorry. I want to
believe it when we see it.
I mean, I want to see it, but I want it to happen. But until it does happen, I'm sorry. I just can't buy into it. I mean, they tried to pull this before, and we didn't get it. So until it happens, I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah.
My opinion.
No. True. All right. Nothing more to say. All right. So with that said, we do now indeed move on to what was the main event of the evening, as it was the Casino Battle Royale. The winner gets the 4th and final spot.
Actually, MF, I don't think I gave my thoughts on that.
Oh, sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're all excited here. I don't blame you.
Yep.
Revolution Week, big pay-per-view coming up. First big pay-per-view of the year here. I don't blame it. All right. Surprisingly effective bit of business, both in terms of in-ring action and the final build for Sunday's title match. Storm and Riho had some solid in-ring chemistry, while the storyline that has put Soho in the middle of 2 warring teams has done a great deal to bring attention and focus to the women's division. Soho versus Hayter versus Saraya should be a boatload of fun and continue the upward trend of recent women's wrestling storytelling in the company. Saraya talked trash to Riho, taking the babyface's attention off of Toni Storm momentarily. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter distracted Toni Storm, allowing Riho to score the upset win. Ruby Soho hit the ring after the bout and laid into both Saraya and Hayter, previewing the 3-way dance for the AEW Women's Championship this Sunday night at Revolution. 3 3.25 for this. So not much more to say here. All right, MF, now we can move on.
All right, it is the Casino Battle Royale. When it was all said and done, there is no time. I don't even need a time for this. The winners, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. They get the title shot. They are the 4th and final team. Wow. Are you kidding me? They're the ones that get the shot? There's so many other teams in AEW, and you give it to Danhausen and Orange Cassidy? So the AEW World Tag Team title fight that's going to now be at Revolution. Listen to these teams, guys. The Acclaim, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, and the reigning champions, the Guns. I mean, scraping the bottom of the barrel of the tag team division. And I hate to say this, but this is not going to put any butts in the seats. Well, it could. The toilet seats.
Hi-oh.
I'll even go as far as to say this, Fletch. This is a match to me that should be on Dynamite or even Rampage. I mean, on Revolution
or at the 0 hour, which is the pre-show for the main card, because this just lost every, like, if you want to talk about lackluster, this is a lackluster fight. I mean, it's literally just made this tag team division irrelevant. Where the hell is FTR? Where's the Young Bucks? Why are they not in this fight? I mean, I'm sorry. I think the credibility of the tag titles just went boom right before our very eyes. I mean,
I'll even go as far as to say, Fletch, this is a match that I really don't even care for. I'm not even going to waste my time watching that.
No. Now, all right. I mean, the rest of the fight card is amazing. No doubt about it. I'm not going to diss the rest of the fight card. But this right here is maybe one of the weakest fights of the night, to say the very least. I got nothing more to say. It was a 3-star bout. It was about 2.5 to 3. Anthony, give me your thoughts, and then I'll set up for the main event segment.
Well, we got to give it up to
and Bullock too. And Bullock too. So. Yep.
Yeah. I don't blame you for getting ahead of yourself, MF. I mean, we're all pumped up, worked up about it. I mean, I don't blame you. That was my sentiment exactly. How many great established teams did we have in this thing? Butcher and the Blade, Claudio, Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta. Oh my gosh. Top Flight. I mean, so many great teams. Yeah, FTR, where were they? I'll say it like this. When it comes to FTR, gentlemen, now that Papa H is running creative in WWE, go back to WWE. Run if you have to. For all we care. So
one funny thing is, and I really wanted to give you the heads up about it. There was one thing that I noticed, and that is there was a thing about not too long ago when they were talking, and I don't know if you noticed this, but there was a photo, and I think it was one of the members of FTR, and the one thing that I noticed, there was a contract with a WWE logo on it. I think FTR was actually talking about going to WWE.
The Revival.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as Corey Graves said on that night they debuted, yes, 1,000 times yes.
Yep.
So apparently they are running. Okay, if that is indeed to be true, but okay. This was not a particularly great battle royal. AEW has always managed to excel in these matches, but this was disappointing, with only half-hearted stories weaved throughout, leading to a clunky yet predictable finish. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. When it comes to this, there's only one reason. Keywords, one reason why this actually makes sense. Their history with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. That's the only way that makes sense. But the tag match at Revolution feels so much unlike an actual tag team title match. It is nearly impossible to think. Listen to me on this, guys. And you want me to tell it like it is? I'm going to take it to a new level right here. It is nearly impossible to think that this particular pay-per-view event, Revolution 2020, was once home to the greatest tag team match in AEW history when Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page went 30 minutes toe-to-toe in a 5-star classic in maybe what is still to this day the greatest match in AEW history against the Young Bucks. Remember that 3 years ago, guys? 3 years ago?
I remember it.
I remember. Yeah. But instead of that, what are we getting instead of that match? We're going to be privy to a mismatch of characters and ongoing storylines, none of which is actually dedicated to the strengthening of the World Tag Team Championships themselves. There were a few highlights here. Claudio and Wheeler Yuta attacked Dark Order during their entrance, continuing their trend toward heeldom while playing up the ancillary effects of the Moxley-Hangman rivalry. Roosh wrestled with Rey Fenix's mask, attempting to pull it off during the commercial break. Tony Nese, Josh Woods, Ari Daivari, and Smart Mark Sterling attacked the Lucha Bros, leading to their elimination from the match by LFI. Parker tried to hide under the ring skirt, but Danhausen rolled him into the squared circle, then worked with Orange Cassidy to send him packing, and then the Dark Order came back and distracted Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, leading to their elimination. 2.5 to 3. I agree with the rating on this one, MF. This was the disappointment of the night. I thought this was going to be something good, something halfway decent, but not particularly great. And an outcome that, you know, the fans in attendance in the Cow Palace may have liked, but here, but when it comes to the three of us and several others, you know, on social media and the whole nine, yeah, no, does nothing for us. So, I still can't believe 3 years ago at this event, we had Omega and Hangman against the Young Bucks in the greatest tag team match in AEW history and one of the greatest matches in AEW history, 5-star classic and beyond. You could pull a Dave Meltzer and give it 6, for goodness sakes, or even higher than that. But we go from that 3 years ago to the Guns, the Acclaimed, Jarrett and Lethal, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen? No, honey. That doesn't do it for us. No. And you want a Jesse Ventura? I'll give you a Jesse Ventura right here and now. The way they booked it, the way they booked this tag team title match, when it comes to the AEW World Tag Team Championship, flagrant disrespect, if I do say so myself. So there isn't anything else left for me to say except that the way they booked this match, absolutely flagrant, and I mean flagrant with a capital F, disrespect to the tag team championships of the world.
Tony Khan dropped the ball on this one.
Oh, he more than dropped the ball, Bullock. He fumbled it. He fumbled. This was his equivalent of a butt fumble. Simple as that. So this is your butt fumble moment. So
yeah, and to all the fanboys out there, who AEW fanboys, including one which I will not mention.
No.
You want to defend Tony Khan for something like this? No, honey. No. You can't defend this. I mean, this is an absolute disgrace to the tag team division. I mean, and like you said, Florio, I mean, 3 years ago, we had the best tag team match ever with Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page against the Young Bucks.
5-star classic and beyond.
3 years later, we get this. No, I just can't defend this. I will not defend this. And to anybody who tries to defend this, you don't know a damn thing about wrestling.
Flagrant
Plain
disrespect
and
of the titles, ain't I right, Bullock?
Exactly. Flagrant disrespect. 2.5 stars. You know what? I'll even go lower than that and give it 2.25. I mean, this was just totally underwhelming. I mean, where was FTR? Where was the Young Bucks? They should have been in this match. Yeah, if I were FTR, I mean, go back to WWE where Triple H will give you the better treatment than what Tony Khan is giving you right now. Plain and simple. Nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right, and the only thing was the main event segment was a promo segment by Bryan Danielson, interrupted by MJF, and I think, boys, we can agree the build for this title match has been amazing. We don't really need to talk much about it if you guys want to talk about it, but this was it, the final build before Revolution, and these guys. I'm excited for this Iron Man match. I think this is going to be all kinds of awesomeness. And gentlemen, the road to get there has been a long one, but for Bryan Danielson, it's been worth it. He finally gets his moment. He'll finally get to face off with MJF, and he'll finally get a shot at the AEW World Title on Sunday.
Segment of the night.
And like this was the segment of the night, and this is going to be. This has the potential to be not only a nomination for the AEW Match of the Year, but a potential for the Match of the Year, because the hype that's been built around this, it's been so good. And actually, the thing you got to wonder for Bryan Danielson, and I'm going to ask this to you guys, does he care more about winning the AEW World Title, or does he care more about beating the you-know-what out of MJF? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Last week, MJF went there when he brought up his family, especially his daughter, Birdie, and mentioned that he was going to send their dad back with CTE. That was, I get you're trying to build heat with MJF like you always do, but to me, that's where MJF went too far. You mentioned something like that, especially, attacking Bryan Danielson is one thing, but to go after the family as the family guy that I am, no, I can't. But to me, it's way personal now, and especially after when Bryan Danielson brought up how MJF's fiance broke up with him, and I think this is a balance of not only this is about the AEW World Title, but it's damn sure personal now when both of them brought up their relationships or their families, but this definitely adds to what I think has been a very good build to this, and what I think could be a candidate for Match of the Year.
I was gonna try to say something, but like, I know you were trying to get your thought out, and the thing was, at first I think it was that Danielson wanted it to become the AEW World Champion, but now that the personal stuff came out, now it's no longer about the belt. Now it took a whole new level. So I think, I'm honestly gonna say I think he's more now out for blood more than anything else. He'd rather win it all instead of doing it the way that we thought of. And at the end of the day, yes, I do believe that when it's all said and done, we're gonna have I don't know if Danielson's going to win it all now. We'll wait and see. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But at first, it was just about the title. Now it's gotten personal because of he brought up his family. They both brought up the family, so it's personal now. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, Anthony, quick thoughts.
For once, MJF said nothing. Instead, the world champion stood in disbelief at the venom spewed by his number one contender, who reminded him of all that he has fought through to get this opportunity, including poverty, injury, and the authority. Yeah, we all remember that. The look on the champion's face as the show went off the air was that of a guy who awakened a monster in Danielson and must now find a way to corral him if he hopes to retain his title. This was great stuff, as Danielson again reminded fans that when he is on, he is a great promo. He held nothing back, his words cutting MJF like a knife. Their match Sunday night will be an instant classic and should be considered a match of the year candidate through most of 2023 if everything goes relatively smoothly. So the only negative was the rushed nature of the program. AEW severely overbooked the show, giving Danielson and MJF next to no time to put the finishing touches on their feud, something that could have been replicated had time been cut from a segment or two, or better yet, if the Hook Matt Hardy match was saved for another show like Rampage. Still, Danielson saved his best MJF-centric promo for last, and the result was a suitable exclamation point. And Danielson said he hates me because people call me the best wrestler in the world, and as the AEW champion, he thinks he deserves that. He says, if there's one thing you deserve, it's your fiance leaving you. And then he said, pinning shoulders to mats and banging rats. Is that what you do, Max? Sounds like someone a father who would want their daughter to marry. And then he said, you better be prepared to fight for 64 minutes, because if you don't, you're going to get your effing head kicked in. Wow. Brilliant. So now you guys know why I have been an avid supporter of Bryan Danielson for all these years. And I'll tell you what, I'm torn about this match now. I honestly thought going in that Bryan Danielson was gonna win the title here, but now I'm having doubts. Now I'm thinking there's a very good realistic chance that they might keep the belt on Max a little longer. So, we're gonna have to wait and find out. So, segment of the night. Let's get into the overall review here.
All right. Look, solid show. Very good event. I'm excited for this weekend. We got the preview on Friday. 7.5 to 8. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 here. Much better than last week's show, I will say that. Theme of the night tonight. Cow Palace tore it up tonight. They added another chapter to that arena's legendary legacy when it comes to professional wrestling. All the names from yesteryear. And of course, when you think about that arena, you cannot help but think about the greatest wrestling moment inside that venue, the night Eddie Guerrero won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar at No Way Out 2004. And what was a classic in their own right. But another chapter tonight, and they're going to be right back there again on a Friday night for a rare live edition of Rampage that, I might have a good feeling about, because usually the live shows are usually pretty good. So we'll have to wait and find out. So 7.5 to 8 for me. Bullock, MF, you nailed the rating here. Very good go-home show. Sets the tone, raises our excitement for Revolution, with the exception of that god-awful tag team title bout. But other than that, Revolution's looking like a banger of a show. So 7.5 to 8, Bullock, take it home, and then we'll get into our very special Mikey's Mindset as we talk about the RWA Renegade Rumble that we were in attendance for last Sunday night.
7.5 to 8, a solid show. I got a good feeling about Rampage come Friday night with it being a live show, but we'll wait and see on that. So nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get into your Mikey's mindset about the event that the three of us got to attend this past Sunday, the RWA Renegade Rumble.
All right, Renegade Rumble went down Sunday at the Our Lady of Rosary Church in Providence. We started it out with the RWA World Heavyweight Championship match, AJP versus Teddy Goods. Unfortunately, the fight got thrown out early. The hardworking heroes, the working class heroes showed up, jumping the champion and challenger. Fight gets thrown out. Then Teddy Goods on the mic and said, "You know what? Hey, wait a minute. No. This isn't happening. We're gonna let this, we're gonna let this go by. We'll fight in the future, but why don't we deal with these jack-offs and let's do a tag team fight." Tag team match happens. Teddy Goods and AJP winning the match. Solid opener. I thought it was a pretty good fight. Fans got into it. Guys, give me a quick thought on it. Anthony, I'll give it to you. I thought it was a good fight. Obviously no time of the fall because we didn't even time this, but just through your eyes, what did you feel about the match?
A solid match. I don't know. I don't know what kind of rating I would give it. I would probably maybe give it 2.5 at best. I mean,
you know what? Let's not give a rating system for it. We could just give our thoughts about it. Okay. No ratings for this because this isn't really. Yeah.
All right. No worries. Yeah, it was a solid, okay match. It kind of felt like one of those, it's almost like what we see on TV, like what we see on a Raw or a SmackDown or anything, era. And we have, a particular match going on, and then it gets interrupted, and then it turns into a tag team match, player. It kind of had that feel. So, yeah, we didn't need Tilo for that one, but that's what we were thinking in our mind. Tag team match, player. I mean, the minute we saw those, we saw the what are they? Working class heroes? Is that what
working class heroes.
Yeah, as soon as we saw the working class heroes, I mean, and then once we saw what was going on, we're like, oh, this is gonna get rebooked as a tag match, and sure enough, it did. So, solid TV quality type match. That's the best I can give it, and no big surprise with champion and challenger going over here. So they're definitely going to meet down the road, and hopefully when they do, we'll hopefully get a much better match, because I think those two guys are capable of putting on a banger of a title match. So so we'll see what happens. So not much more to say, but let me tell you something before we get into this. For those of you who may not have been there with us, nobody got more into this show than Michael Bullock did.
Oh yeah,
Bullock, you were into it from the opening bell to the very end, and you were the MVP of this show when it comes to the three of us, hands down. So just wanted to put that out there. So not much more to say. Bullock, your thoughts on the opening.
Hey, this was my first RWA event I attended, and boy howdy, I mean, it just delivered. I mean, I couldn't help but I couldn't contain my excitement. I mean, this was just, I was into it from the first match to the last match, but this was a solid match to, I mean, yes, I mean, it was a throwaway with the championship match, but the tag team match definitely was a solid match here. So there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. With that said, then the next one that we had on the fight card, I'm trying to remember. Was it the Nick Marchand? No, it wasn't. It was a singles match. I did know that. Yeah, no, it wasn't that one. Or actually, was it this one? I'm trying to remember the order. I'm kind of forgetting, but I know it was a singles match, and I believe it was. No, it wasn't Frank Bones. I think it was this one. It was Theodore J. Liftington going one-on-one with Harry Brooks. Theodore J. Liftington winning the match. Honestly, this was kind of the comedy haha match, if you really notice. Actually, and I know, Theodore J. Lintington. I told you guys the guy was entertaining as hell. The former United States Olympian way back when comes up, and as you could tell, he absolutely entertained with a big win. Harry Brooks, I mean, they call him the golden boy of RWA. Yeah, more like the golden girl, and he definitely got a lot of razzing from the fans, to say the very least. Entertaining match, more of a comedy fight more than anything else. But you know what? It did its purpose. It was serviceable, and I actually enjoyed it. So Anthony, I know we had fun. We were having a little fun with it, commentary wise, with this match. Like I said, it was more of a comedy fight, more of an enjoy-off fight, because the first fight was kind of needed a little bit of a cool-off. So give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, it was basically a comedy match, no question about it. I mean, yeah, you guys definitely, commentary-wise, you guys had a lot of fun with it. Me, I was, acting, mortified like a heel commentator would.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lift. I mean, that was the lift was a big part of the chant, no doubt about that. And man, not exactly the best fight of the night. I mean, it was certainly one of the worst, and that's really all I can say on it. So good comedy showcase. So not much more to say. Bullock, quick thought on this?
Yeah, it was definitely one of the worst fights of the night, but you know what? It was still fun, especially with the way we went at the Golden Boy. I mean, it was just a lot of fun there. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Then next up that we did have, this was also a one-on-one fight, and this one had major high stakes on this one. This one was Danny Anthem versus Coach Will. If Coach Will wins, he gets 5 minutes with the commissioner, David Morales. If he loses the fight, then Coach Will has to join Team Morales. At first, Coach Will won the match, and I had my Roadrunner ready to meet on Morales if Morales was going to try to run for it. And then a couple of referees were there because there was a ref bump, and they called a DQ finish, giving the match to Danny Anthem, and Coach Will was forced to join Team Morales. Bullock was pissed. I was pissed. Anthony Florio went full Jesse Ventura, and this was the moment. This was your MVP moment, Anthony Florio, because you, as the heel commentator, had a magical moment in your very eyes. You were the MVP of this one.
And rightfully so, because I mean, and you heard what I said. I said, hey, I know the rules. You can't put your hands on an official. You put your hands on an official, you're immediately disqualified. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And then because when the ref went down, when he nailed him with that elbow, incidental or not, I basically said, hey, he hit him. He hit the ref. That's a disqualification. And then the second referee comes in, and then counts the 1, 2, 3 for Coach Will. MF and Bullock were going crazy like fanboy cheerleaders, and I was losing my mind. I was like, no. And then the 3 goes down, and MF and Bullock go, yes. And then MF lets out his yes, and then Bullock lets out his Jerry Lawler woohoo on that one. And I'm like, what an atrocity. But then I noticed out of the corner of my eye, I noticed the original referee, the referee who took over, and then Morales over there having a discussion of some sort. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, hold the phones here, boys. I think we might have a disqualification here. And then when we heard that the referee had that the decision was reversed, and that Coach Will was disqualified, I'm like, I told you that was a disqualification. And then when that happened, MF and Bullock basically did the Gorilla and Roddy from Royal Rumble
And part of
91
me,
when Sergeant Slaughter won the
and I
title.
wanted to say, like,
No.
oh, come on. I'm like, oh, come on, Jesse. That was incidental.
It was, and then I was like, baloney. There was nothing incidental about that. That's a disqualification. You can't hit an official. And then what did you say, Monsoon?
What a miscarriage of justice we just witnessed here tonight.
And I'm like, well, too bad. You can always cry over spilt milk, but what's done is done, gentlemen. So, yeah, definitely my moment of the night. But you guys would get your big moment later on.
Yep.
Just as a little foreshadowing. So, but for me, this was definitely my moment of the night. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. These guys were legit pissed as Gorilla and Roddy were at Royal Rumble 91 when Sarge won the title from the Warrior. So I think you can pretty much read the writing on the wall there. But solid match, fun match, and that's all I can say about it. As the heel commentator, definitely the correct outcome, and that's all there is to say on that. So, MF, Bullock, whoever wants it.
Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, it was a fun match, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I was beyond pissed. I mean, I'm like, how could you do that? I mean, he accidentally hit the official. I mean, it's not like he did it on purpose, but I mean, unfortunately for Will, he has to join the group, and yeah, he wasn't happy about it, but you know, it is what it is. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, next up we had was the Ace, Mike Montero, going up against Frankie Bones. Mike Montero winning the match. Look, at first we were a little worried that because Jason Devine was out there, we're thinking, is he going to get involved? No, Montero won this clean victory, no screw job, no nothing. Well done, solid win for Montero, and yeah, so Anthony, quick thought. This was kind of a sleeper fight of the evening.
Sleeper fight of the evening, big win for Montero. This was another moment for me. I was happy with this outcome as well, and that's really all I can say on it. A solid match, one of the better matches of the night here, no question about it. So, so with that, Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was definitely one of the solid. It was a solid match. One of the solid matches of the night. I mean, for this, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, it was a clean victory. So, yeah. So there's nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and then the next one that we did have, and this was the match we had before. Then we had another one-on-one match, as it was Nick Marchand versus the Insane Dick Lane. Nick Marchand getting the win. Again, another sleeper type bout before anything else. So, with that said, Anthony, another okay fight, but you know, Marchand gets a big win, so it's yours.
And a lot of heel heat too.
Oh yeah,
yeah, especially Bullock. Bullock definitely had a lot of fun with this guy. I'll tell you that right now, as well as the crowd. But yeah, another one of the top fights of the night here. Nice win for Marchand here. And, you could definitely consider this a monumental win for Nick Marchand, because he beat, according to UMF, one of the all-time greats in the RWA.
He's Dick Lane is one of the most over guys in RWA. Former RWA world champion in his own right, but the thing is, if you want to talk about one of the most popular guys in RWA, this is it. Dick Lane is the most popular guy. You heard the pop he got when he came out. You hear the "We love Dick, we love Dick, we love Dick." Yes, there's some innuendo on that shit. I'm not gonna falsify it or anything else. But yeah, so Dick Lane is one of the most over guys in RWA, and for Marshawn to win that fight, it's a huge win for him, but it also left a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth, as I would say.
Indeed, it did, and but a huge win nonetheless for Marshawn to beat one of the legends of the RWA and the Insane Dick Lane. So huge win for him. Not much more to say. This was another heel commentary moment for me. So, Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this was another solid match here. I definitely enjoyed it. So, yeah, I mean, Marshawn with definitely a big win for him. So, there's nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Then it led us to the next fight of the evening. Before we got into the intermission, it was the RWA World Tag Team title match. The New Gold Order, Mike Grassa and Devin Blades going up against the losers, the reigning champions, Sean Leader and Tom Billington. The losers successfully winning the title, successfully defending the RWA World Tag Team Championship. And guys, we all agreed with it. We all said it. And we all felt it. Fight of the night in this matchup. We all were given high hopes or high thoughts about this match. Anthony, what a matchup it was. Fight of the night. The ending was a little bit left to be desired. However, it does serve the purpose in a major storyline because, yes, there was a mistake at the end. However, it does lead to a storyline where we had was basically the breakup of the New Gold Order because of what happened. So it's yours.
Yeah, Devin Blaze turned on his partner, Mike Grassa. We very easily could have pulled the WrestleMania 5 bit out of this, MF. We very easily could have pulled that out. You basically could have said, you know what, Hitman, Florio, you could have said, hey, there's an unwritten law in the world of professional wrestling. If you have problems, you settle them outside the ring, not inside. But you know what I always say, rules are always made to be broken. So, which is, of course, is a Tony proverb. But anywho, what a fantastic match this was. Outside of the titler match here, this was the fight of the night for me. If I were to put a rating on this, it would have been between 3.5 and 4 because this was an incredible match. Had those elements of Shakespearean drama in there, no doubt about it. So how many close near falls did we have in that one? Too many to count, right?
Yeah, at least 3 or 4. There was one major hope spot.
Indeed, it was, and I think the crowd was a little. The crowd was definitely split on this one. Because this was a face versus face matchup, and but boy, did the crowd have fun with what happened afterward, and but I'll say it like this. Fantastic match. The near falls were insane. Some of the spots were insane. And the ending there was a beautiful young lady photographer out there who happens to be the fiance of Mike Grassa. And she took a nasty, nasty bump. And
yeah.
And from what you told me, MF, you told me that spot was actually planned.
Okay. I guess what happened was that yes, that was Mike Grassa's girl at ringside as a photographer. He went for that drop kick that he does in the corner. If he dies, he dies. He charges. She was doing the camera, got a little too close. Now I don't know if the feet just like kind of landed or if it was a ricochet, but she got hit. She dropped to the ground. The thing was, there was a blind tag that happened prior to that move. So that made Devin Blades the legal man. While we were worried about that, the losers took the moment, hit the finisher, and got the 1, 2, 3 and won the match. So yeah, that what led to the breakup. And you heard what Devin Blaze was saying. You took family over my family, and that's when you saw what happened there. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add there, folks. So we lost Michael Bullock. He's gone home for the night. After that was the Renegade Rumble itself. Oh, yeah, no. So Renegade Rumble after that, and it was the winner of the Renegade Rumble was Tom Billington. That the misfit. Tom Billington winning the Renegade Rumble as he was the last man standing, coming in at number 30. The runner-up was Ricky Medeiros. Oh, by the way, the winner of last year's Renegade Rumble. He almost made it 2 years in a row. Came out at number 23. But when it was all said and done, Tom Billington winning the match will now receive an RWA World Title shot in July at Legacy. Anthony, your first Renegade Rumble, what did you think of it?
Well, as Jesse said at the very first Royal Rumble in '88, it was definitely an experience for me because this was the first time I had ever seen one. We were literally up close to the action, and a lot of the guys that were eliminating near us, and I mean, it was fun, and hey, here's the thing. I mean, we actually started with 2 women at the start.
Yeah,
Ellie Valentine and
Big Juicy.
Yeah, and then they were the only women. The other 28 were gentlemen. We had current RWA stars. We had some new RWA stars. And then in what was the mark out moment of the night for me, seeing Rhode Island wrestling royalty in the form of Thrash from the New England Wrestling Alliance. These guys didn't know who it was. But then the light bulb went off, and then I'm like, oh, I'm like, holy bleep, that's Thrash from NEWA MF. And I'm like, holy wowzers, that's awesome. Thrash from the NEWA. That's awesome. Because I grew up watching the NEWA on the old Rhode Island Interconnect Channel A, public access, late Saturday nights, around 11 o'clock or so Saturday nights, and then around 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoons. I mean, for me, that was appointment television when I was a kid. Let me tell you that right now. And I remember Thrash very, very well. Speaking of the NEWA, how about one of the greatest NEWA World Heavyweight Champions of all time? And your favorite MF. Mark out moment for you. Wolverine.
Yep.
Oh. But then the real mark out moment. Wolverine's tag team partner, Danger Boy Alfredo. But then again, I already knew about this in advance. But when I saw him, I was like, yeah. And then, then that's when I was getting into it. When I was getting into it a la Bullock. I mean, I was chanting Wolverine, Danger Boy in the whole 9 yards. And man, and then big win for Tom Billington, 1/2 of the World Tag Team Champions. He now gets the golden opportunity. He gets the World Heavyweight title matchup at Legacy coming up in July. That's an event that I absolutely must be there for. Just as long as it's on a day and time that's good for me, I'll be there. So, because I definitely want to be a part of what MF refers to as their WrestleMania. So, definitely got to be there for that one. So, but wow, what it was a very fun match, a unique match. It's exactly like the Royal Rumble. The only difference is we had 2 women with 28 men, and it's exactly the same as the Royal Rumble. We had some very fun elimination spots and a surprise outcome with Billington winning it. So now, MF, I think we're agreed that he and Sean, leader of the Losers, are going to eventually lose the tag team titles before that. I mean,
oh, yeah.
because I don't think there's any way they're going to have him as a double champion.
No.
But I mean, you know this better than I do, MF. Would you consider this the biggest win of Tom Bellington's career?
Yes, because he's now. Here's the thing, and I've been trying to rack my brain through the course of his career, and I don't ever remember Tom being an RWA World Heavyweight Champion, or even back then it used to be called the Triple Crown Championship. And I don't ever remember Bellington being a Triple Crown champion. Now, if RWA ever, and I know they've been watching our shows a lot more because we've been hyping them more. Now, if they ever come up and they say, hey, he's been a champion or something like that, please, by all means, comment it or send me a DM. Let me know. Because like I said, I've been following it for 8 years, but this company's been around for a lot longer than I've been following it. So I think it's almost been like 15 years the RWA's been running. So, like I said, I would love to get that, and we'll wait and see how it plays out. So, yeah. So that's the end on that. And then from there, the main event of the evening was a triple threat match, as it was Shady Shay Cash, the Riot Kellen Thomas, and the Right Stuff, Stephen Lust, and Shady Shay Cash winning the match. So he won the match, which means he gets a shot at the RWA World Heavyweight title next month at Cash is King. That's the name of the next pay-per-view. We'll be there. But there was one other thing that happened. After the match was over, Kellen Thomas and the Right Stuff, Stephen Lust, attacking and beating them down at the end. Shady Shay Cash, because of the screw job at the end, or what happened after at the end. But what happened next? Oh my goodness. Frankie Bones. Now, Frankie Bones had this, what they call the Jeremy Bell. Now, it's a remembrance of a former RWA referee, Jeremy Bell, who passed away suddenly about a few months ago. On that day would have been his birthday. So there's a lot added to this. So the Jeremy Bell is like an equivalent of the Money in the Bank, and it guarantees him a shot that you can get a title shot at any time, any place, anywhere, and it could be for any title. Now, we didn't know if this was for RWA related or if it was for any belt that's also RWA affiliate, because they do work a lot with a lot of different companies. They do work with a lot of different organizations, but I later found out that the championship, that the belt that they were going for was actually in line with RWA. So yes, it is an RWA sanctioned title. The Ocean State title is actually RWA property. Therefore, Frank Bones comes out, cashes in the Jeremy Bell on Shady Shay Cash, who is the Ocean State champion. Ladies and gentlemen, history was made. A new champion crowned. Frankie Bones winning the RWA Ocean State Championship. Anthony Florio mark-out moment of the night. And we, all three of us, had a magical moment. You classic, you MVPing with your heel, me doing the screaming Michael Fletcher like I know you loved.
Bullock.
Oh my God, what a moment at the end to close the show.
And you and Bullock went up to the ring, and both of you pounded your hands on the mat. I mean,
that's tradition. That is traditional RWA.
Uh-huh.
That's why.
I kind of had a feeling that was, and I was like, what are you guys doing? And all right, now I know. Okay, but yes, perfect commentary moment here on this one. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a recognized RWA sanctioned title. What's the purpose of this? And then Bones hits his move, and then the count was going down, and I'm going, no, and then MF lets out the big old yes, and then Bullock literally did the Jerry Lawler woohoo in the whole 9 yards, and I was like, what an atrocity. But in all seriousness, though, that was a fun ass moment. I am not gonna lie, that was epic to say the very least. History was made. MF. If this wasn't an unprecedented crowning, tell me what is. That was an unprecedented crowning. I mean, none of us saw that. None of us saw that coming. And that was a wild moment. Main event was a solid match. Considering that AJP is a face, I mean, you had a feeling that the heel was going to win here, which he did. And MF, what happened at the end? I understand you have another exclusive about this.
Well, basically what happened was after the match, or what led to the title switch, was because Shady Shay Cash actually suffered an injury. He is okay now. He is medically cleared now for the King is Cash championship fight. Cash is King. He basically got his bell rung. He kind of got a little loopy, suffered a mini concussion. He's all right. He's all right now, from what I've been told from RWA management. They actually came out earlier today and said that no, he's fine. He just got his bell rung briefly. It's okay. He's fine. He will be ready for that championship fight that goes down in March. So that is all. Nothing more to say. And for Frankie Bones, a man that basically probably didn't think he was going to cash into that moment, was like, you know what? I'm going for it. And look what happened. Not only that, he got to gritty with his son with the belt in hand. That was a moment in itself, man. There's some magical moments. Nothing more to say. Historic night, legendary moment, and you heard the guys. They were begging me to get the U2 knuckleheads there, and now they finally see it. Now they want to see more use. Unfortunately, Michael Bullock will not be there for the next month because he's got a special event that he needs to do. But I can rest assure you, folks, myself and Anthony Florio will be at Cash is King for the next RWA show that's going down on Sunday night, March 26th, I believe, or 25th.
Yep, 26th.
26th, and it's going to be right back at that Our Lady of Rosary in Providence. So Anthony Florio, myself, will be there. And already some of my friends from the 2184 crew has already confirmed themselves to be at that show too. So
nice.
So get ready, guys. And I do have one match officially confirmed. This was the match that we all expected. Shady Shay Cash versus AJP for the RWA World Heavyweight title has officially been confirmed. And we are awaiting other matches. So within the next few weeks, we will find out, and we'll bring it to you on Cerebral Smack Talk as we lead up to that show. And as always, we will have a show preview the weekend of that event, which oddly enough will be the week before WrestleMania.
March 24th.
March 24th. So with that said, we're done for tonight. Thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you guys as always. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. We will see you guys tomorrow night. We got another edition of TXN Sports World, and it was going to be a light docket, but all of a sudden, from what was going to be a light docket to it's turning into a pretty sizable docket. A lot of NHL news that broke out. Obviously, we'll be talking about the XFL and previewing the next week. And if there's anything else, we'll add to it. So Anthony will host it 10:30 Eastern on the Tone 25. Until then, for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you guys tomorrow night.
Goodbye.